Streaming worldwide from Port Canaveral, Florida, this is the Cruise Junkie.
What's up? What's up? Welcome to the show. My name is Tyler. Thank you so much for joining us here for a very special edition of the Cruise Junkie Live here. Again, once again, my name is Tyler here with the Tyler Show and the Cruise Junkie here. You can follow me on other platforms. That is at the Cruise Junkie. And of course, here on YouTube, I post all this stuff here on the Tyler Show. Long story here. One day I'll explain the whole reasons why there's two different names. But anyhow, we are live streaming live this year-end recap of the cruise and travel industry. Let me know down in the live chat. I'm going to look over here right now. If we are 5x5, that means you can hear and see me okay. Again, we are testing a new studio setup, which we'll get to in a little bit here. But if you are the first time checking out this show and you clicked on it, thank you so much for doing that, by the way. My name is Tyler, and on this channel, we show you all the latest happenings in Port Canaveral as well as the cruise industry. And we do cruise vlogs as well as we take you on board the ship and we put a maritime perspective, which we'll again touch on a little bit in this year end recap. So again, waiting here for the chat. Again, if you have any questions for today's show, go ahead and put those there in the chat. Tag at the Tyler Show if you can, so I can see it the best as a question instead of just a normal comment. Again, that is at the Tyler Show down in the chat bar. It's either, I believe if you're watching on mobile, I believe it's below the video, and if you're watching it on desktop, it's to, I believe, your right of you. But anyway, we do appreciate it. And again, if you are new to the channel, please consider hitting the subscribe button and clicking the bell so you'll be alerted about new streams when they come out. The goal is next year to hopefully get the show starting up every Friday or at least monthly, semi-monthly-ish with this show here. Again, we're still working here on the studio. As you can see here, we have a brand new camera and all of the deal here. But again, we are streaming live for the first time in many months, almost a year and a half. Our last live stream was actually at Port Canaveral. It was of the Carnival Liberty sailing away. The reason I've been doing live streams in a little bit is because the fact that didn't have the computer to do it. Now I have the computer, and now I'm just trying to sort through the other technical issues, which is such as the camera, which I got that figured out here, and then audio. I'm working on that now. It's still missing a piece, but at least you should be able to hear me somewhat. So again, let me know in the chat if you can hear me. That would be much appreciated. And if you're watching the replay, again, if you have any questions, leave those down in the comments below and I will do the best to answer it. Again, we're going to recap this year. It was a crazy year for the show, the channel, you name it here. It was absolutely crazy, which again, we'll get to in just a moment. But again, I'm happy to be back here streaming live on YouTube to each and every single one of you. I hope you did have a fantastic holiday season. Christmas, again, New Year's coming up here. It's another reason why doing this show here. And it was a very busy time of year for me. Again, if you haven't been seeing those Independence of the Seas videos, I'm still in the work of editing those. Next one should be out sometime, I believe, next week. That is the current plan. Again, it just depends. Holiday season, the scheduling, it gets it tight with scheduling. So have to wait and see what the plan is, of course, with live streaming as well as new videos. But again, do expect new videos every week. And by the way, what has been your favorite video? That's the question I'm going to ask you, the viewers, right now as we get feud. What has been your favorite video this year? Let me know down in the chat or the live stream replay comments section. What was your favorite video this entire year? For me, it's a tough one. Again, a lot of great videos made this year. Cruise vlog series, many cruise vlog series, probably the most I've ever done, back to back to back cruise vlog series, pretty much. And it is especially that way right now. I got content, which again we're going to talk about a little bit about content still to come because I still have a lot of content in the editing process. Again, editing takes a while to do. Again, that's one of the reasons why I have been doing live streams too for a little bit is because of how much time video editing does take every single week, right? You have to constantly go in, and when you're in there, with the whole process of video editing, you're constantly spending about a week with the video editing, so you don't have time to go ahead and work on the live stream because, as you see, I've made the intro, all this graphics and stuff, but it's all good. I do enjoy doing it. So let's go ahead. I think we should get into it. No further ado. Let's recap this year from the beginning, which is in January, all the way until now. So let's go ahead and get over there and talk about it here. So 2023, what a crazy year it has been. We're going to kick it off here with the first of the year, which was January, as mentioned earlier. And no joke, like literally a week after New Year's, it was time to get on a cruise ship. And then that cruise ship was none other than the beautiful Mariner of the Seas. We were on Mariner twice, which you'll see here in the video. Now, they were not both back to back. There was another ship thrown in the mix in between, which was none other than the Wonder of the Seas. But as you can see here, shots from our vlog. Of course, if you want to check out more videos, more in depth here than what I'm going to be explaining to you on the videos, I have a day-by-day play of the cruise vlogs, which subscribers such as Kathy L. Kathy, well, thank you so much for joining us. She's seen those videos as well. Again, those cruise vlogs, which are kind of our day-to-day play of what's happening, right? So we have those videos here. But Mariner Seas, wow, oh wow, my second favorite ship ever. Fortunately, my favorite ship, the Navigator of the Seas, is in Los Angeles, so don't think I'm getting on that anytime soon here. But Mariner of the Seas was phenomenal here. I have her, I'm going to spoil it right here. I have her booked for next year. I believe one of my final sailing on her. Hopefully, I'll be able to get on her a little bit more next year, maybe do two, but as of right now, looking like at least one on the books as of right now for the Mariner of the Seas. My favorite ship. Now, a lot of folks ask, why is it your favorite ship, Tyler? Well, the Voyager class, again, after sailing to the Freedom class, which we'll again get to a little bit because we were on the Independence twice this year, which again, a little spoiler alert here, but the Mariner is absolutely my favorite. It is the same features you'll find on, the Freedom class, or some of these newer Royal Caribbean ships in terms of playmakers. You got the Flow Rider, you got your water slides, you got the Ice King show, as you can see here on screen now, right? You got all these amazing features on board the beautiful Mariner of the Seas, and you also have less capacity compared to what you get on the Independence. For example, the Independence of the Seas, that is 1,000 people more than the Mariner. In terms of length, it is a little bit bigger, but not by much. So 1,000 extra people on the Independence compared to the Mariner, and it makes a world of difference. Now, yes, Mariner is missing venues such as Sorrento's, but again, they have other things to make up with it, like pizza and Cafe Promenade. There's some of the complaints I do hear from my friends and stuff is that some areas do seem quite compact compared to what the Independence offers. Because again, I'm comparing it a lot to Independence because I sailed that ship a lot. Same with the Mariner. So still, Mariner is my favorite ship. Both of the times we were on Mariner, actually, so our first cruise on Mariner of the year, which you're watching now, it was a Bahamas cruise. It was actually filling in for the Independence of the Seas. So this cruise was when Independence of the Seas went to dry dock. It was actually the same day it went to dry dock. It left Port Canaveral, right? So we did the first ever of its fill-in Bahamas cruise, and when we were on that, we did Coco Cay and Nassau. As you can see here, actually, it's kind of funny. We did Nassau on Saturday, which is not normal for the cruises, right? It's not normal for at a Canaveral. Usually Nassau is on the last day, usually most of the time, but still super great. We did hit Coco Cay up as well, as you can see here the footage on screen. Coco Cay, amazing as always. Went a lot. Almost every cruise I went on this year went to Coco Cay, except one. There's one cruise out of the whole year that didn't go to Coco Cay, and that was my 7 night Independence, which we'll again talk to when we get to the Independence of the Seas here, but it was a phenomenal time on the Mariner of the Seas. That ship is absolutely one of my favorites. Again, that capacity is one of the main reasons why. Also, the connection to the ocean. That's something I miss on a lot of the other ships. Again, that is something that you don't find on the Oasis class. Again, I know that's one of the things for Icon, like Icon of the Seas, right? It's one of the things that they're fixing is they're trying to put more connection to the ocean, even though it's on that size of ship, it's kind of hard to have like you see here. You can just come out, look at the views of the ocean. Right on the Mariner, though, you get the best of the specialty restaurants on board. You get like the Izumi, so you get that new ship experiences, but you get it with a more older cruising feel. But the ship is not that old. Again, in terms of dating, it's not very dated compared to what the Allure of the Seas was. Of course, Mariner was amplified, so a lot of that age has been kind of removed, but still absolutely amazing. And that was the first cruise on the Mariner there, more or less. Again, if you have any questions about any of these cruises, if you want to know, any questions, leave those in the chat here by tagging at the Tyler Show if you could. That's so I can know it is a question, and then we'll go ahead and get into that. Now, our second cruise on the Mariner of the Seas, which, by the way, both of them share a similarity, which we'll get to kind of in just a little bit. But our second cruise was supposed to be a 4 night cruise, left Thursday to Monday out of Canaveral on the Mariner again to Labadee, Haiti. Well, unfortunately, yeah, we didn't go to Labadee if you've seen the videos. It was, I called it the cruise gone wrong on the Mariner. Not the ship and the crew, everything was great on that aspect, right? But the itinerary itself was, kept on changing, right? For example, we had it where we're, again, medical event on the first day, then there was another one. Then when we got to Port Everglades to disembark the person, it wasn't actually the person that we thought it was, right? So that's kind of funny, right? That in the cruise, of course, that we had so many medical events, but it was absolutely a great cruise all around. We actually ended up going to Port Everglades twice during the whole cruise, which is unreal, right? We didn't actually dock in Port Everglades once. We just stayed off at the sea buoy. So the first sea buoy, and again, in Port Everglades, it isn't a long channel, so we were really close to Port Everglades. First time was a fireboat that came out. Second time was Coast Guard. You see the shots here in the video clip. As you can see here, they lowered the lifeboat down, which is super cool. Like, I never seen it that way. Usually, I've seen in the past, either they get the helipad, which of course they didn't use that because why would you use it? Because it's very dangerous, very expensive. All around, if you could do it this way with using lifeboats, it's a whole lot easier. But that was interesting. So they used the rescue boat. They didn't put the rescue boat never went in the water, and it did hit the water, but never left the ship. Right, the rescue boat was used more like a winch or a elevator, if you could, which was super neat to see here because it was very smart of a system because it was able to put the patient on right. I've seen one video. I think it was in my good buddy Brandon Barker's, which we'll get to that. The Canaveral group cruise we did with him a little later in this hour. His video with Justin, right? They were on Freedom and they were kind of same situation. They had to do a medical evac. They actually had to use the Jacob's ladder or the pilot ladder is what you would call it, and actually had to go ahead and bring that down. And that was funny seeing, not funny, but it was kind of like, wow, they have a person who's injured or something who actually climbed down the ladder. So that was neat to see the different process of medical evacuations on the cruise because truth be told, like medical events happen a lot, but this amount of medical, emergencies. I was someone talking to the cruise director on board, and he was saying that like before the shutdown, like this would never happen. But he said this is like the new norm now with since the whole shutdown and like the restart, whatever, is that yeah, medical evacuations left and right. As you can see here, then this is the Coast Guard coming alongside. Uh, Very interesting of a cruise to say the least. That was my crazy experience with that cruise on the Mariner. Probably the most eventful cruise in terms of crazy things happening, right? Because then, if you don't remember with the videos, right, we were supposed to go to Freeport. They were like, okay, yeah, after, of course, we canceled Haiti because there's no way you're going from Port Everglades and making it to Haiti by the next day, it's like, yeah, next to impossible. Unless you're going to spend like what 2 hours in Haiti, which they're not going to do. So that was very interesting seeing, of course, the that we now instead of going, we are supposed to go to Freeport, right? But then that got canceled. There was a ship actually supposed to go to Port Canaveral. The regular Seven Seas Mariner, I believe, is a ship or Navigator, one of those, was supposed to be in Freeport, and it had our dock. So there was another dock that we can go to because the other dock, well, it's too small for us, and Margaritaville uses it, so couldn't dock there. So instead, the captain's like, okay, well, we're going to have to go to Nassau now. Then he was also like, yeah, don't get your hopes up about Nassau either. There's quite a bit of wind that day, and which you saw from the pilot boarding footage, it was quite choppy offshore. And he also said that there's some other ships in port too. So yeah, again, he was very, very hesitant about it. But luckily, if you see the footage here, we did make it into the port of Nassau on that cruise, which again, no complaints on my end because I got to see that Bill Preston pilot boat. We have a question here in the chat by Nathan. I do see that question, Nathan. I'll get to that in just a moment here, talking about the pilots. We'll get to that when we talk about pilots a little bit later in the stream today. So, yeah, what a great cruise there. We kind of both of those left out of Canaveral. I try to have most of my cruises leave out of Canaveral unless it's either like a really cheap cruise out of like some other port in Florida or it's some ship. Usually we either go to other ports because of the ship or because of the price. But we try to most of the time Canaveral because Canaveral's the best. We'll talk about the independence of the seas in just a little bit. That was crazy. The Canaveral was smooth, right? But the other one not so much. So yeah, Mariner to Seas, what a phenomenal cruise. Really did enjoy that there. Again, no complaints whatsoever with the beautiful Mariner of the Seas. Looking forward to getting back on her next year. That is going to be absolutely phenomenal, getting back on the Mariner. Again, one of my favorite ships for the reason I mentioned earlier. Smaller ship, but you have the same big ship benefits. You have the same quality entertainment, same quality options. Again, really do love the Voyager class ship, and I hope Royal Caribbean. I know the Project Discovery that's in the works. I hope that kind of takes a lot from the Voyager class because again, can't beat it whatsoever here. Again, once again, if you have questions, I know I'm plugging it a lot, but again, it goes ask those in the chat, and I will do my best to answer those. Again, if you're watching the replay as well, I know a lot of people watch these, they don't have the chance to watch it live, so if you're watching the replay, again, leave those down below, and I'll do my best to answer those. I kind of want the show to be a more interactive show, because that's one of the things I like doing about these live shows, kind of the things I missed about doing is I can interact with the chat. Of course, like Anthony, my good buddy Landon, Cruise Pulse, those people watching the chat, and the people who aren't even typing in the chat, right? Again, if it's your first time here and you're a little shy of the chat box, very, very friendly chat here. So great, folks. One thing I like about the cruise community here is everyone's very friendly and open, and that's something that you don't really find in a lot of other communities out there. That is for sure. So yeah, again, we're moving along here. Let's go ahead to our next cruise. So as mentioned, we had the Mariner of the Seas. The first one was in January, and then the second one was in April. The crazy one with the medical event was in April. Now, in between the January and the April cruise, we actually did a cruise in March on the beautiful Wonder of the Seas. Let's talk about that now. Let's get that loaded up on screen. Wonder of the Seas. That was my first time going on a semi-new ship. Holy cow, what a cruise that was. We did a one and done cruise, as you would call it. That means it was like they only do that itinerary once. It was Labadee, Nassau, Falmouth, Jamaica, and Coco Cay. So it was a great, great cruise. The itinerary was kind of lackluster, but it was still a phenomenal cruise. You can see our departure there from Labadee. Wonder of the Seas, that's an amazing ship. And there are some things I don't like, which you see on screen, the flow rider. There's only one flow rider on the Wonder of the Seas, which I love the flow rider. Actually, you'll see it on the beautiful Independence of the Seas, actually, Allure of the Seas, excuse me. The Allure of the Seas video, it's actually one of the best of the best competition. That's coming out sometime next month. Depends when I get the videos edited from Independence. Anywho, Wonder of the Seas had a lot of things I love, like the pool deck right here. As you can see, this is a beautiful pool deck, one of my favorite pool decks. Actually, this whole Royal Caribbean new pool deck, like the Navigator has it. I think the Freedom has it. A lot of these amplified and newer ships have this new resort style pool deck. Amazing. Wonder of the Seas, I'm really amazing. And that's the funny thing. Like I was on Allure, which again, I know I keep saying we're going to talk about it, but trust me, we are going to talk about it. Um, with the beautiful Allure of the Seas, that ship, doesn't have the TV screen on the pool deck. Versus here in the Wonder, as you can see, they got the TV screen here on the pool deck where you can watch those shows, right? You can go ahead and it's a nice way to watch a movie. They have like the cool stadium seating too, so you can do that as well. Again, a lot of good things out there on the Wonder of the Seas. Is like the design changes. Another prime example of the design changes, which are really good, is the beautiful Windjammer, which I don't have a video clip here in this B-roll montage I made, but the Windjammer on the Wonder of the Seas is the best one on the Oasis class. Again, I was on Allure, and that Windjammer chaotic at times, but on the Wonder, handled it like a champ for the size of the ship. A lot of other benefits on the Wonder too that I like compared to the other ships. Some of the other ones is, of course, the decor. Decor is different because some of the decor is from when the ship was originally designed for the Asian market, and then some of the ones were like the refit for like the U.S. So it's very funny. Like you'll see like the Mandarin signage on the ship, and then you'll go ahead and you'll see the American stuff. So it's kind of funny. It hasn't been announced yet what Wonder will be doing next year. People saying it's going to go back to the Asian market. It's or going back to. I'm not saying going back to, but it's going to go there like finally. I personally don't see it going there. I think it's going to be doing the 3 and 4 night cruises out of Miami. I think it's a good option. Utopia and Wonder sailing there. But yeah, Wonder, what an amazing ship. I definitely would, if the prices are right, do a 3 night cruise on her out of Miami if she ever does do that. I would definitely do her again. She's a little pricey now for the prices of sailings out of Canaveral with the 7 nights. I wouldn't really necessarily pay that again. Yeah, that's the only one downfall I didn't like about Wonder was it was a little steep in the pricing for what you got. Again, there's your typical Oasis class experience. But again, I wouldn't say it was worth the new ship hype money, right? It was nice. Don't get me wrong, but not my favorite. Not even favorite in the Oasis class. I would still take Harmony over this, just because of those two flow riders and some other smaller details on the Harmony. But the show, like the shows on the Wonder, they were hit and miss too. I ain't gonna lie. The shows were hit and miss. Like this show, Intense, the Aqua show, the best Aqua show on any Royal Caribbean ship. Highly recommend seeing that show. But there was other shows on the ship, like the shows in the main theater. They were not great. I would consider them cheap. And the reason I say they're cheap is they used pre-recorded music, not a lot of sets. Like you go to like the Mariner, you go to the older ships, they do it the right way. They have the live orchestra, they have the big prop sets, they have all this amazing stuff, right? Versus one they kind of just use a TV screen, which is cool technology, right? But yeah, it's just some of the things like that kind of like okay. But again, this personal preference here. Some people really did like them, even though I did hear those shows weren't exactly the greatest here. But the Aqua show and the Ice show is actually pretty good too. So those were two pretty good shows: the Aqua show and the Ice show. I believe it's a Freeze Frame and then Intense, which is amazing soundtrack to both shows, the Ice and the Aqua show. But as you can see here, yeah, really beautiful ship. A lot of differences, of course, with the pool deck, which is great with the TV screen, even the resort style. It's just it's unreal. Like it's hard to explain, but I hope the video doesn't do it justice, right? But the small differences on this ship really made it in some areas really great. Like as you can see, the pool deck with the stadium pool deck, it's really great. The Royal Promenade, same as always, not really much design change here on the Wonder, but I really did personally enjoy the Wonder of the Seas. It's definitely one of my favorite ships. I told you it's not my favorite in the Oasis class, and it's not even my top five favorite, but she's definitely my top 10. I've done about 20, if you're familiar, I've done about 20 or so cruises, so I've seen my fair share of ships, right? So again, Wonder of the Seas is absolutely amazing. And that actually, that dome structure, it's kind of funny. So you can see some shots I shot when I did the pilot thing, which we'll talk about pilots here in a little bit. Uh, but what's funny is, right, that, that aqua dome thing in the front, like they have like the airbag thing, it's like the solarium, but that actually makes a difference. So those pillows, that's what they call them. They're not glass and they're not pure plastic. They're pillows, they're air pillows. Those things make a world of difference. You can see on we're on the Allure that they had a few times where it's quite windy and had to cancel the Aqua show because of the waves and the wind. But with that, you could definitely see it made a world of difference having those domes, those air pillows in the Aqua Theater, and it was absolutely amazing to see that design change because it was for the positive. And again, I wasn't originally a fan of that. I think it looked cheap when Wonder first came out. That was my first things. But after, seeing it, it kind of grown on me. And it's kind of sad that like, there's no more Oasis class ships being built after Utopia, which I'm looking forward to seeing that ship here. It's coming to Canaveral in June or July, one of those. That's going to be super amazing. But yeah, that's it for the Wonder of the Seas. The ship was good. There was some downfalls and some pauses, but all around a good ship. The food was good. The entertainment was okay. It was, hit and miss. That's the thing I would say about the ship. It probably was the most hit and miss ship of Royal Caribbean, which is unfortunate because it's the newest and the best. So I was hoping it would be that. But the crew, amazing. Again, Royal Caribbean has some of the best crew, and it's never always a complaint. There's never a complaint about the crew. Besides one or two crew members always, not the best. But for the most part, a few, not rotten apples out of the whole bunch. There's still an amazing crew members, 10 out of 10 on Royal Caribbean, especially this ship here, the Wonder of the Seas. Actually, it's funny. We were actually on, I think, for the 1 year anniversary sailing, so less than a year old ship, and absolutely amazing. Again, love the Wonder of the Seas. That is for sure. Anyhow, let's move along with the show here. So that was in May. Actually, it was in March. So again, we got on the Mariner in around April, and then we went ahead and we did nothing through the summer in terms of cruising. That's because, well, money. If you ever known, if you don't know, cruising in the summer is crazy expensive. You're talking double the price sometimes than what your normal cruise experience would be, right? If you are normal like off time. And though I'm thinking about being in Florida so close to ports is we don't have to worry about, oh, we have to do it during summertime because of vacation days or whatever. So close. That's one of the reasons. So a lot of folks ask, how are you able to go on so many cruises? Well, simple fact is you do the 3 night cruises. The 3 night cruises are where it's at in terms of saving money because you can go on a 3 night cruise for a fraction of the price of what a 7 night cruise would be, which of course it makes sense, right? It's less nice, but at the same time, you're also not using any vacation days from work because it's on a Friday. So you may have to take off like half a day on Friday, but you can still work on Friday. Like I was able to do work personally on Friday and then get to the ship around 1, 12 to 1 and got on the ship. There's a little issue arriving later to the port, which I'll talk about now. I was talking about Mariner here, so it's kind of funny on the Mariner of the Seas. That was very, very funny, by the way. So the first cruise we left out of CT5, which first time ever going there was on in January on the Mariner. Then we had the end of the cruise. We ended at CT1. Now, no one knew about this until the ship did it. Right? They didn't announce it until like the last night at like 10 a.m., like 10 p.m. I should say. So everyone was confused. I knew about it the whole time, so I was kind of like, okay, we're gonna go back. Now, I wish it was communicated better, right? Now, the second time we were on Mariner was the same way, where they had a charter cruise, and also I believe the Independence. I forget what the situation was, but they weren't using CT1 for whatever reason. So we left out of CT1 on the Mariner back in April because they had the Monsters of Rock charter cruise before, so they needed that more dock space because CT5 is not the biggest dock space in terms of on the dock. They had to have a big crane set up for all that stuff when we were on the Mariner in April for again for the sailing after the Monsters of Rock. So they needed that crane and that bigger dock space. So we left out of CT1. When we left out of CT1, we then went back to CT5. Now that one, luckily, they communicated and told us, "Hey, go park here," and all that stuff. So that was good. Shout outs to the Port Authority for that again. Have a good relationship with the Port Authority. I know they're working on. I know a lot of people are, hear about the comments and complaints about, oh, the parking situation. I know in Port Canaveral they are working on all of that situation here. Again, that is something that the Port Authority knows, the cruise lines know, and they're working hand in hand together on these parking situation here at Port Canaveral. But that was funny. But again, that is one thing I would say about terminal usage here, right? Again, with those 3 night cruises, back to the point here to 3 night cruises, 3 night cruises, you can get on them. You can hardly use any vacation days. And the thing is, too, you can get off the ship like with a Lord of the Seas. I was a little worried. Again, I know go skipping ahead a little bit here, but Lord of the Seas, I was a little worried. It's going to take twice as long to get off, right? But no, no joke. Got off the ship 10 minutes. From my room to the car, 10 minutes. Back home by 8 o'clock. Technically 8:30, but yeah, still. Back home by 8:30. Just crazy. Unreal. Weekend cruises is the way to go. That's why I do a lot of them. I think it's a pricing too, but that's all around a great thing too. A lot of things too people say is, oh, you're gonna be more of a party cruise, you're gonna be more of a booze cruise. Actually, it's not really that way. At least with Royal Caribbean. I know Carnival probably is, but no, actually, it's not that bad in terms of it being like a more booze cruise. People are just there to drink. Actually, it kind of has shifted with this bigger ships in the market now. People aren't booking these cruises for that reason, 100%. So again. And Nathan puts in the chat here, if you have any questions, go ahead and tag us in the chat here. But this is a good, interesting point. I'm going to go ahead and bring Nathan mentions here. He says, that is the thing that I am worried about start of the seas out of Miami. I think he's talking about start of the seas out of Canaveral. The parking situation. The parking situation isn't the best at CT1 currently. It could get way worse when the star comes. Nathan, I can assure you this much. The Port Authority knows I am in communication again with the Port Authority. We have a really good relationship with the Canaveral Port Authority here. And I can tell you, Nathan, that the Port Authority does know that, and they are working hard to get that situation resolved. That they said that there will be no issue. They said that they have enough spots that they could build, so they said no issue whatsoever with the start of the seas, and they do know that that will be a situation that they have to look at. But again, there is about a year or in give and change time until start of the seas, or really 2 years really until start of the seas comes to Canaveral, so they will have plenty of time to address that situation here. So again, not a situation here whatsoever with the Star of the Seas parking, but I know it is an issue that some people are thinking because it is a bigger ship than the Wonder of the Seas here. Again, any questions, leave those in the chat, and if I know the answer, I will go ahead and give you that answer. And if I don't know the answer, I'll speculate a little bit. Anyhow, let's go ahead and move on to some more cruises. Again, this summer we did not really do any cruises here. By the way, Dylan, chat asked, how am I doing today? I am doing fantastic. Hope you are doing the same here as well, Dylan. I'm glad I'm able to spend some time with all of you amazing viewers here and, chat a little bit, do some back and forth questions here and all this stuff. And again, let's go ahead and dive into our next ships here. Again, once again, any questions, tag those in the chat when we talk about ships here. Let's move all the way over now to Independence of the Seas. So after the summer, our first cruise was back, I should say, was on the Independence of the Seas in September. We did a 3-night Bahama cruise, actually one of its final cruises. It stayed as a Bahamas cruise out of Port Canaveral, Florida. So you can see there, beautiful Independence of the Seas departing Port Canaveral. Independence of the Seas is one of my favorite ships. She is bigger than Mariner, so that's why she is not my, she's in the top three. She's the third in my right now in the ranking, but she's not my, number one or two, but still an amazing ship. A lot of great features added on the Independence, but again, not really like that much difference compared to the other ships like the beautiful Mariner of the Seas, but still an absolutely amazing ship nonetheless here with the beautiful Independence of the Seas. You can't go wrong here. That was a 3-night Bahamas cruise. Actually, was funny here is the next two cruises I went on. So the Independence and the Allura after we skipped Nassau on both cruises. I think that was because Nassau was pretty much booked out of space at the dock, but that was pretty cool. It's not cool that we missed Nassau because of missing the Bill Preston pilot boat, but still, it's funny that we missed Nassau on both sailings. We didn't miss it actually; it was part of the itinerary, right? But yeah, Independence of the Seas, one of my favorite ships for the weekend cruise. I still think it is my favorite weekend cruise ship out of the Mariner. Mariner's a great one too, but she just fits really well in the 4-night cruises. But again, sad to see her go too, by the way. She's leaving Canaveral. But the Independence of the Seas, I think, was the perfect ship for the weekend cruises. Allure, great, don't get me wrong, but I think the Independence right here, that was the ship for the weekend cruise. I mean, it had everything you need. It had the space. It had the amenities and it fit really, really well here. I know it's a fan favorite. I know people are still, sad that it's gone at Canaveral. I'm still gone, sad it's gone, right? Fortunately, no plans to come back to Port Canaveral doing 3-night cruises. They'll have the Oasis class doing it for a while, and then even no plans to come back just as a home ported ship doing 6 and 8, 4 and 5s. But yeah, wow, what an amazing time on that ship. Again, love that ship with every aspect. She has the same thing with the Voyager. Connection to the ocean is really, really done well here on the Freedom class of ships, and can't go wrong whatsoever with that ships. I've got a question in the chat, by the way, here. It says, how do you think if a Freedom class does 6 and 8 night settings from Port Canaveral like Mariner Adventure do now? I think that would fit really well. The only issue is how can they sell those cruises? Because the 6 night cruises, they sell weird. I know that's the thing. They like some of the. I think the longer sailing sells really well. Like it's usually always sold out on the 8 night sailing, but the 6 night sailing usually is always cheaper because they have a little issue trying to sell it. So again, I think it will do a great fit here, having like the Independence or the Freedom. But at the same time, those ships are used for other things right now. Like those that class of ships is used They do the 3 night cruises now, but even those ships are elsewhere. There's only 3 of them, so they have to be very careful where they put them. So that's probably why they won't have it now because there's only 3 of them, right? And Independence, people in the UK really love that ship, right? So she'll be back there for a little bit of time, but then I think she'll do a split season, and she could do 3, 6, and 8 night cruises, but I don't see it anytime soon. Like I could be wrong, but her deployment's been announced, and I don't think Freedom's going to move anywhere doing that. So I would love it. Don't get me wrong, because that ship is amazing. I would definitely love to do longer cruises on it. Actually, I did that. So after this, we did the Allure of the Seas, we went to last year in terms of cruises, but we hopped back on the Independence of the Seas in Thanksgiving week for the 7 night cruise on the Independence out of Miami. That was amazing. 7 nights on that ship. Wow, oh wow, that was great. I honest to goodness gracious loved that 7 nights. I wish it did more 7 night cruises on the Independence of the Seas. And that was a one and done, right? Because Independence is phenomenal. She really does the 7 night cruises very, very well. So again, I really do wish that she did do more 7 night cruises because she fits it very well in terms of what there is to do. She's also not too big. So we were like, for example, we were able to go to Grand Cayman, which if you go on the Oasis class for 7 night cruises, she can't do because she's too big. Well, of course, the Oasis class is too big, but no, absolutely an amazing ship nonetheless here. I do see some questions in the chat. That is about harbor pilots. We'll get to that in just a moment there, Dylan. But again, that's going to wrap up Independence of the Seas. Again, Miami was a great cruise. Those videos are actually still coming out. So that's why I kind of don't want to talk on it too much with the Independence because those videos are still in the works here. We still have, I believe, 1 or 2 more videos, or maybe 3. Depends on what I post because I did film pretty much every day, but some days the content wasn't, good enough to post. Like Nassau, actually, I didn't film at all. Like, just didn't work out. I missed the arrival, so I kind of like okay. And then we did go to Nassau on the Independence. Like so, that cruise on the Independence that sees out of Miami was Nassau, Labadee, Grand Cayman, and Falmouth, Jamaica. Again, and not the best port. Grand Cayman, don't get me wrong, amazing port. Actually, that was probably my favorite port on that cruise. Labadee was great too. They have improved it a lot. As I used to be not a big fan of Labadee because it wasn't exactly the nicest port, but they've definitely spent some money into it and improved it a little bit in terms of the accessibility and all that stuff. Like they definitely did fix it. It's kind of more like a Coco Cay, but not as as mainstream and commercialized as Coco Cay, but still, it's kind of great. It kind of reminds me of the old Coco Cay back in the day here. But that was the cruise on the beautiful Independence of the Seas. What a cruise on Indy. And hopefully they'll be able to get back on her. Again, unfortunately, I don't know when that's ever going to be. So that was the last cruise for a while on her because she's going to the UK, she's staying in Miami, and truth be told, it's not worth driving down to Miami for just a 4 night cruise or a 5 night cruise, right? So, anyway, that was a great time there on the beautiful Independence of the Seas out of Miami and Canaveral, September and November in terms of time frame. Now we're gonna get to Allure of the Seas, which was just simply amazing. I'll tell you about that here in just a second. So let's talk about the beautiful allure of the sea, shall we? Oh wow, oh wow. I love the allure of the seas. So let's talk about what made me book Allure first. So Allure of the Seas, of course, is the biggest ship ever to do the weekend cruises in the cruise industry, right? Well, the other thing too was my good friends and people who inspired me to kind of start this channel, the one you're watching right now, Brandon Barker, Justin Hirsch, were there on a cruise on her, and I was like, hey, they said, hey, Tyler, you should go join us. And I said, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So we booked it and we did a phenomenal group cruise. A little later, then my buddy Caleb, Cruise Ship Media, another ship spotter here in Canaveral and Central Florida here. We booked it, he booked it too. So we had all 4 of us going the Canaveral group cruise, we call it. And again, all of your favorite Port Canaveral content creators. Caleb mostly does Instagram. By the way, if you haven't heard of him, he does cruise ship media mostly on Instagram. He is expanding out to the vlogs, which I'm looking forward to, seeing his vlogs here from the cruise. My vlog, so again, this cruise, we skipped Nassau and we had a sea day. Now, if you're familiar with sea days are kind of hard to film. So there's not a video. So there's 2 videos right now posted of the Allure of the Seas, and those are the only 2 videos you'll see from this cruise, so the Canaveral group cruise. Again, there wasn't much happening on that sea day. So I did film it, but I didn't decide to post the video because there wasn't much actually going on. But it was an amazing cruise. You can see from his time lapses from this cruise. Uh, Coco K was a phenomenal. It was a perfect day, I dare say, right? So absolutely an amazing time there on the Allure of the Seas with the guys, filming content for you guys. Hope you'd enjoy those videos. Again, if you haven't checked out those videos, the full videos are on YouTube. That is on the channel. The boarding day and the other one was kind of funny actually. So as I mentioned earlier, we are have a new studio right here, as you see, and we're constantly testing and improving on things. And on that cruise, I had the new vlog camera, which you've seen the vlogging camera quality's gone up. I'm not using my phone here anymore. I'm actually instead now using my new GoPro, which is helping to improve the quality of the videos, which is of course always good. So we do have that in terms of our new videos and stuff with quality here. Of course, studio, these new microphone you hear. Hopefully, it does sound good. Not sure. I'll watch it back and have to wait and see what it actually sounds like here, but. Again, so it's kind of fortunate, like that boarding day video, we had no audio for half the video, which I had a really good, it was a really, really good video filmed. And unfortunately, half of it had to be cut and had to do a voiceover in the studio. But overall, what a great first cruise. You see here, this is the footage from the second one. That tie-ups into Nassau was not, again, and I mentioned on that cruise, the first one with the, Brandon Barker and Justin, Caleb, the Canaveral group cruise, we only went to Coco Cay, and that was it. Second cruise I did, this was our last one of the year, which was shot in the first, I think the first sailing in December. So the first week of December, that was our final cruise on the Allure, the final one of the year. And that one we went to Coco and Nassau, which was super great to see. It was a beautiful time. Now that cruise, I didn't do much really besides surf. I love the flow rider, truth be told, and that ship has two of them, which I absolutely love. I was able to get some great time. There was low lines. It was an amazing time for me on the surfing machine. I actually I got my own board now. So Flow Rider, Flow Rider. I know you guys probably some of them are pretty tired of seeing those, but I love the Flow Rider. So hopefully you get to see my love of the Flow Rider through my videos. Hopefully I do a good job. But it was absolutely an amazing time, an amazing departure from Canaveral. And a whole entire great cruise, or again, our last cruise there of the year. Hi, here's a time lapse actually of us coming back into Canaveral. What's super cool about the Allure of the Seas is they don't have a lot of good spots to film arrivals, but the bridge wings that were on the side of the ship were actually open pretty much the entire time. That's one of the things I didn't like about Wonder of the Seas too, was the bridge wings on the port and starboard side, right? Those were closed, so you couldn't really get a good view of the arrival and departures of the ports, which was half the fun, right? You can't see the pilot transfer that great. And that's one of the things. I know there's a question in the chat about pilot transfers. Again, we'll get to that here in just a moment. But yeah, it was a phenomenal time on the Allure of the Seas both times. Again, those videos are still coming out. That's why I'm kind of not talking too much in depth, like what I like about the ship, what I not, because I probably will do at the end a podcast just individually reviewing the Allure of the Seas, because it is a phenomenal ship. Even though it's not like completely refurbished, like the Royal Amplification, she still is a great ship. There are some parts that make her dated, but for the most part, a phenomenal ship all around here. And really happy and lucky that I got to be able to do a weekend cruise, not only once, but twice on the Allure of the Seas, which was super, super great here. So again, if you are enjoying the stream, if you could give it a like and share this video out so YouTube will know. We're gonna have another live stream in a while, so YouTube the algorithm isn't usually picking up as much as it used to do, because again, it posts a lot more long form content in those short videos here. Which by the way, I mentioned this earlier in the stream. If you're watching this, I had a question for you, the chat. What is your favorite video I posted this year? Let me know. Let me know what your favorite video is. Mine, I'm gonna finally answer this. So probably mine would be the pilot video, which I filmed with the Wonder of the Seas. That was a super super neat video, right? Not the first pilot video I did, and not the last one either. We'll get to that in just a second here, right? But that one was super great, doing that with the beautiful pilots and filming that. That's probably my favorite video. Even though some of the cruise vlogs are really good too, like the Canaveral group cruise. Those videos are my favorite ones I've filmed. The quality is good. I love those videos. Again, let me know in the chat what your favorite videos of mine were. Again, love to know what they were. Anyway, here, so we got some questions in here, but Nathan says here, my favorite video you posted are the ones that have cruise ships in them. Ah, Nathan, that's kind of funny. Almost every video I post has a cruise ship in it. So I like that comment, Nathan. Thank you, Nathan, by the way. Go check out his channel, Best of Boat Worlds. Usually don't plug a lot of channels, but Nathan is, he's starting to ramp up his quality of content and really good stuff from a different perspective, right? He has a different perspective. He has kind of that Cape May Lewis Ferry and all that interesting small ship perspective. So check out Best of Boat Worlds. He does some good content there. And thank you, Nathan, for moderating the stream as well here. So keep on rolling on to it again. Let me know what your favorite video was. I'd love to hear some feedback. It's either in the live chat right now or in the comments after this stream. But let's roll to the questions here. We have some pilot questions in here. Um, but yes, absolutely. Oh, Nathan says he wants to see more hotel videos coming out next year. Okay, Nathan. I will have to go ahead and take a look at that. I know we do a lot more cruises, so not really a lot of hotels, but yeah, I'll go ahead and see what I can do. If I do visit a cool hotel that kind of involves cruising, I will go ahead and try to film a review for you guys. Because yeah, again, I try to relate everything now to cruising to try to find, and Port Canaveral especially, but I'll just go ahead and see what I can do, Nathan. That's for sure. So again, we're going to move over to everyone's, I would say, favorite subject, but seems like it's the chat's favorite right now. The Harbor Pilots. We'll talk about that and talk about what's in the store of that. So, first off, we'll go ahead and read those questions here of those pilot questions. We actually have quite a few here in the chat here. Of course, harbor pilots, if you're familiar with what they are, those are the local experts. They guide the ships in and out of ports. They are crucial and critical to all cruise, cargo, you name it, operations, keeping those Florida ports and any ports in the U.S. and the world safe. Again, hats off to those harbor pilots here, but that's kind of focus I want to bring because that's a hidden side of cruising. No one really knows about it, right? So that's one of the things on this channel. I try to put, normal cruise videos, but instead of most people focus on the food, the shows, I do that, but I also focus a lot on the maritime operations, tugboats, pilots, you name it. That's what I try to show and try to show a different perspective, right? Because a lot of people don't know exactly what goes on behind the scenes here. As you see here, new content next year. We do have some pilot video coming out next year. One more from Canaveral, at least one more from Canaveral that is coming out sometime next year. I can guarantee you that. I'm not going to say maybe. I can guarantee you there will be a new pilot video from Canaveral next year of a 6-ship day, even though not 6 ships left in the video. And anyhow, you'll see a pilot video with some more ships in there coming out absolutely next year. So again, Pilotage is coming out from Canaveral. Hopefully some other ports too. I'll have to see what I can get done. But yeah, that's a little sneak preview. I don't like giving a lot of sneak previews, but we're going to get to those questions now in the chat. So the first question asked, are you a harbor pilot? No, not yet. Not yet. Not yet. One day, hopefully. But I do have a great working collaboration with the Canaveral Pilots and the Florida Harbor Pilots Association, where I help them with social media content. So, like the videos you see now, like the footage of like the pilot boats and stuff that help them with their Facebook page and stuff like that. So, and help also educate the viewers there at the pilot. So, I do have a working relationship. I don't work for them, but I do work with them, like collaboration on content. So, there you go there. So, um, another question here from Bumble Me Magnify. Tyler, we always enjoy your pilot footage. Thanks for getting up early to get that footage. Will you consider interviewing a pilot or doing a ride along? Actually, it's kind of funny you mentioned that. So, actually, I have a video on my channel. Check it out. It is how harbor pilots get off cruise ships, I believe, or bring them out. Check out that video. Actually, it's on the channel already. It was filmed about a year or 2 years ago. And I sat down with a harbor pilot and I asked him the questions, right? I literally asked him pretty much every question you want to know, right? I had actually some of my viewers help me with some of these questions, right? Basically, knowing, hey, what does a pilot do? Like, what's all the situation? So check out that video already. And as you see here, this is a ride along video too. So this video is shot now. That was shot also last summer. Was the Wonder of the Seas, the MSC Seascape, and the Morella Discovery. Those are beautiful ships, and we did that. We shot that on the pilot boat, and it's different. Like it's a different experience seeing the world's largest cruise ship, the Wonder of the Seas, from the pilot boat. As you can see here inside the pilot boat. So yeah, to answer your question, we did interview a pilot, and we did do a ride along, and we have some more coming out next year. Don't want to give too much away here, right? Because you guys are going to be thoroughly impressed, I believe, next year with content, something different for the channel. I'm not sure if we're going as many cruises as this year, but we're definitely doing more interesting cruises. So have to wait and see. But again, I want to thank all of you for the support. Again, it's one of the things I want to mention here. You guys are able to, help me do this stuff, right? You helping me able to collaborate with these people. You're helping me able to collaborate with other creators. All of the support, every dime we get back from this channel, from the ad revenue, super chats, whatever, goes straight back into getting new gear to help, make content for you guys here. So I would do another question here, though. Oh, this is an interesting one here. Canaveral Pilots or Delaware Pilots Association? Nathan, there's no competition here. Canaveral Pilots, absolutely. The guys there in Canaveral. Now, I personally haven't been with the Delaware Pilots Association, so hey, Delaware Pilots, if you want to have me up there, absolutely would be my honor to be up there filming you guys' day in the lives. But can't beat the Bill Preston pilot boats as you can see here at the Canaveral. Canaveral is something special about the operations here. I've seen pilots operations from around the world, and yeah, absolutely amazing. So again, here's another question here from Dylan. He says, "Can you hop in a tugboat into a POV?" Okay, there's an idea, Dylan. Yeah, I have to wait and see. Tugboats are a little tricky to do, with getting on, but definitely that is in the works. I'm definitely going to try to go ahead and get you some tugboat videos. I love tugboats as well here. Tugboats is something amazing, and I will definitely go ahead and see what I can get done here in terms of content next year in the maritime industry. Try to show you something that people usually don't see, right? Again, a lot of the cruise channels out there, not to be rude or anything like that, but a lot of them are the same thing. You can watch one channel, you watch another channel, it's like the same things. Here, I try to do something a little bit different. I hope you are enjoying it. I hope you guys like the little different spin I put on maritime content here. So yeah, a lot coming here in the new year in terms of harbor pilotage. At least one more video from Canaveral and hopefully some more. So hope you are again enjoying this different content because it's not the normal cruise ship content that people expect seeing. So I hope you all enjoy it nonetheless here with content. So that was pretty much this whole year. Now there were some other ship spotting. I was going to actually put a montage together, but I kind of ran out of time. But ship spotting this year was very well. We went to the port many times, and we saw lots of cruise ships leave. All different days. Saturdays, Sundays, as well as Fridays, Mondays. So pretty much saw every ship that was home ported here leave for the most part. Problem is, Sundays, Saturdays are actually tricky, and sometimes like it's kind of weird. Like sometimes, some years Sunday is very good, and then the other day, some other days are really good. So it kind of goes in waves in terms of what year, what's good. Like prime example in the summertime, Saturdays are like dead. Like it's like the Disney Fantasy, the Mardi Gras, and maybe Mariner. But like in like the winter time, like both days are always really good. But especially here, like in the Sundays, those are really good in the winter time, and even still good in like normally in terms of tonnage. Like that's the one thing I look at it. I only look at it like what ships going. I look at it tonnage wise. Like the bigger the ship is, the more interesting they are for me to film, the more interesting for you guys to watch, right? So even though I love filming the smaller ships, do not get me wrong, I do love those smaller ships, but the problem is not many people like seeing those smaller ships. So absolutely. That is something that I do enjoy. Hopefully, you guys enjoy ship spotting videos as well. And those are something the live creators don't do. My good buddies Brandon and Justin, they do it all the time. That's kind of like their thing, seeing those ship spotting. I love ship spotting too. It's very nice and relaxing. It's hard to explain until you see it. So people understand, like, oh, Tyler, like, what do you do as a hobby? Like, oh, I love going to Port Canaveral and just watching the ships leave. And they're like, so you just go watch the ships leave? It's funny. I tell people all the time, and they're like, huh? It's a thing? I know there's like plane spotting, but ship spotting. Wow. So no, it's super cool. I hope you guys are enjoying that content here. Actually, it's kind of funny. I was supposed to be there last weekend to go ship spotting, but it panned out, but it didn't pan out at the same time. You'll see what I mean when it didn't pan out, but it panned out at the same time. It was very funny. We'll go ahead and show you that video. Hopefully, sometime after the Allure of the Seas and the Independence of the Seas videos that I shot are posted here. Again, a lot coming in the new year, my friends. I am thankful and grateful for each and every single one of you for watching this whole entire year. You guys made my year this year. If it wasn't for you, I would not be able to do as much as I've done this year. And truly, cheers and thank you to each and every one of you, my moderators, my supporters, my friends, my colleagues. We appreciate every single one of you for supporting in me one way or the other. And again, I am unbelievable thankful. That's why I want to kind of give you a thanks here at the end of the year as we start spooling down the live stream here as we get close to an hour. Again, this is the first one I've done in a while. It's still taking me a little bit of time to get back into the habits of doing live streams, right, in terms of all setup here. But the home studio is looking good for the most part here. Of course, as you can see my background here. Of course, you got a photo of actually me on the pilot boat for the first time. You got some ship models here as well and some other beautiful stuff here in the home studio. Still working on it 100% here, but definitely making good progress. And I really love the new look here of the home studio here. So any last minute questions, let me know down in the chat right now. We're gonna go ahead though and start spooling down the stream here as we get close to 6 o'clock. Going to have to hop off. It's going to be a New Year's Eve this weekend here, so I'm looking forward to that here, and hopefully be able to go back into port sometime in the new year to film some of those departures. Here. It's a busy weekend, of course, here at the port because of this holiday season. It's kind of funny. So if you're unfamiliar with the way home ports, the major cruise lines for the most part, they're very nice to the local, like the other people who have to support the operation. So they try to give them, New Year's and Christmas off by not having any ships in ports. So again, very, very interesting here. But it's kind of funny. Dylan, here's a good comment here. I like this one here. He says, Tyler, hop on the Marmac. Yeah, yeah, I'm sure Elon Musk. I'll give Elon Musk a call and we'll go ahead and get on the Marmac for you guys. No, absolutely no, Dylan. Though I agree, though that it would be very nice to do, but I'll have to wait and see. Again, if you have a contact, shoot me an email, folks. I have my email. If you on the channel here, you just shoot me an email, and I would love to do some interesting videos here. But that's a good one, Dylan. I love that. That's very true. I'd love to do that, Dylan. Absolutely. Anyway, folks, I was going to start spooling down the live stream as we recapped our year this year. It was a very eventful year here. Stay tuned for this channel for more live streams from the cruise industry, as well as hopefully we'll get some guests here on the show in the following year. Again, hoping to do it again most Fridays here. It'll probably be different times depending on the guest situation, different dates. But again, stay tuned for this channel for more videos. We have Independence of the Seas and Lord of the Seas coming, as well as some videos from Florida ports. Again, my name is Tyler, and you are watching The Tyler Show. Have a good rest of the year. See you in 2024. Good night, everyone.